When I'm with you, I feel I'm floating. You make me touch the ceiling. Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la. Can't deny I'm catching feelings. You give my life more meaning. Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la. Ignite my fire. Ooh la la.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Daijo here, and I'm coming to you live from Quarantine Central. I am currently in the nature island of the Caribbean. I am currently home. I am currently in Dominica, and I'm currently in quarantine. This video, I'm just gonna give you a little tea of the pros and cons in case you want to travel right about now during the pandemic COVID-19 situation to Dominica. Anyway, when you arrive, they put your carry-ons that you had, in case you didn't have it with you in the plane, they put it underneath because there were only like 8 of us on the flight. They put it down. Afterwards they tell you like you have to grab your own bags and stuff, which is fine, right by the plane. So I grabbed my carry-on, and then I had to go to this other section of Melville Hall, which I did not know existed, and to, you know, just check in and do your testing and such. So when we arrived, like, the nurses there gave you hand sanitizer. You have to obviously socially distance, and you know they have the little ropes, so you go through them like the snake. And you have a section where there is a documentation section, and then another section where you do rapid testing. When it was my turn to go, you know, you give your passport, you have to have your immigration form, which they should have given you on Seaborne Airlines if you, or whatever airlines. Then you have to provide your PCR test. So here's a big thing: rapid testing from the States, because I came from the States, they do not want the rapid test upon your arrival. They want your PCR test, and it has to be between 48 to 72 hours. No excuses. If your PCR test was not taken within 48 to 72 hours, it is going to be deemed invalid. What that means is that you are going to have to take a PCR test at the airport, and they're going to tag you. So if they do deem your PCR test invalid, you're going to go up a little alleyway to another section where the nurse will administer the PCR test. Note that they do nasal swabs and throat, like they hit in the back of your throat. So it's literally throat baby, make you feel like you want to gag, but other than that, it's not really bad. Note that each PCR test you do take costs about $100, I believe. So you are paying for these tests that you are taking. So if they do think your test is okay, they will send you to a rapid test, which is like on the other side of the room. If not, like I mentioned, you need to leave and go to a PCR test, and they will tag you. So I did government quarantine, but to note, you can do a private quarantine and then you can do a government quarantine. So there are a list of government approved private places that you can stay and pay. I chose to do government because it is in Portsmouth, and I am from Portsmouth, so I just wanted the easiest option available. But we'll talk a little bit about that later down in the video. After all your testing is being taken, they will give you these tags. So this one is for government quarantine, and it says welcome to Dominica, and this is the mandatory quarantine tag. This one is if you do take another PCR test at the airport, if they do deem it invalid, whether it be if you did not take it for 48 to 72 hours or anything that they may find that is a bit iffy, they will put you under this band which says in-room isolation until you get your test results back. So if you do have a private one, I do believe they give you a green band, but yeah, you getting banned for sure. And if you do remove this ban, they charge you, was it between $2,000 to $5,000, some range between there. So after all the testing is done, there is a government issued vehicle that could take you to wherever you stay in. I decided to do the government issued vehicle rather than a private taxi, because if you're going to a private institution to quarantine, it would make more sense to take the private taxi. But I took the government one, and I wish I would have taken the private taxi because I had to wait 2 hours for the government vehicle to show up. And then I don't know what was going on, and I was speaking to someone. They was like, oh, they might have you go down in the ambulance, and I'm just like, bear in mind, when the vehicle do come, when it comes to handling your luggage, you are the only one responsible for handling your luggage. All your luggage will be outside, and then you will have to go pick them up. When the government issued vehicle came for me and 2 other people that were there, because there were only 3 of us going to government issued quarantine at that time, it was already 8 o'clock, and I've been traveling since 6 a.m. because obviously we don't have any straight flights, so your girl was tired. And they came on this big ass yellow bus, the magic school bus. They come for us like all decked out in their like suits, the white suits and the hazmats and stuff, and we were just like, okay, damn. Okay, I guess. And we had to put all our bags on that vehicle, which was fine. The only thing is, it was like a bus, so the back of it did not lift up anything. We had to try to fit all our big suitcases to be on these little seats, these little bus seats, which was quite difficult. So just bear in mind, if you are taking government issued vehicle, like if you have a lot of luggage or if it's heavy, it may be a bit cumbersome trying to get it on the vehicle. It's like you have to play Tetris in a way to make sure it all fits down. I did arrive safely to the quarantine apartment. I'm quarantining in Edisville in Portsmouth, or Picat, Portsmouth. So it's nearby for me in a way, so that location was actually not a problem. So when you do arrive at Edisville, you know, they tell you your name, they ask you your name, I mean, and you go through, you have to take all your bags and carry it up, right? They're telling you what room number you're in, and I was just like, okay, fine. So I was on the 2nd floor of the building. So here's a tip number 2. If you have a lot of bags, ask the nurses or whosoever that there if there's any availabilities on the ground floor, because I had 4 suitcases and I had to carry each of them to the 2nd floor, the 2nd story, by myself on a hungry stomach. It was already by that time 10 o'clock, so it was so exhausting. So if you are traveling heavy, ask if there's like a lower level that you can go to. So when you finally get to your room, it is like a basic room, like 1 bed 1 bath apartment with a little like kitchen and living room area. So pros about the room: there is air conditioning, you have hot water, it has a microwave, it has a fridge, there's a stove, but I don't believe it works. It has a TV, I don't believe it works either. But you have like the basics kind of. When you do arrive, like they give you a toilet paper, soap and shampoo, and they already have bed sheets. Tip number, whatever that number that be, I would advise you to carry your own bed sheets and stuff. I brought my own towels, bed sheets, all of that stuff, just for comfort, for me to feel more comfortable knowing that I supply these things. The con is that they don't provide you with keys for these set apartments, even if you kind of quarantine, so it's not necessary. But that's like a big con of mine, was that they didn't provide any keys. So I don't know if I should put that out there, but guard your stuff. While in quarantine, of course, they can provide you food if you choose so, which you have to pay for. But I made my family bring me stuff, so I was completely fine in that aspect. One good thing is that animals are growing. Can you not? Thank you. They could bring food for you. Obviously they have a guard at the gate 24/7, which is really cool, and they also have like a police officer there. So when you do bring food for someone, they're asking you if you have any like drugs and alcohol in there, which you're not supposed to bring for people. So they didn't really have a time frame where, okay, breakfast, you can only bring breakfast during like 9 and 11. No, like they could bring food for you anytime, which is pretty cool. Another thing to note is that you cannot take anything from quarantine to bring outside. So like all of the plates and any item that my family brought for me, it was things that could throw away. So the next day I was so exhausted, but they do come and take your temperature every day. They will knock on your door. Even if you don't think it's your door, they knock it on. Still go outside to check, because like some of the apartments so close by, they're knocking on sister and door over there, and you're thinking it's you, just go outside because most likely they're coming to you next. While in quarantine, to be honest, I did a test on Monday. The test is supposed to come back at least 24 to 48 hours after. I did not get a call whatsoever about the status of my test, so I had to call various times to try and figure out like, hey, like what did my test say? Because I find I do a test and nobody not telling me anything. Like, what's going on? Who checking up on me? It's just like, am I just in quarantine? And it's like, yeah, c'est la vie. Like, that is the vibes. So I really needed some more organization on that. When I finally got someone that told me my test was negative, they do give you a phone number when you arrive that you could call. I think it's like 24/7 for assistance. Something to note, on your 5th day, they take another PCR test result. So something to note is that they don't count the day that you arrive as part of the 5th day. So if you arrive on Monday, it doesn't be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday you're getting your PCR test. No, they start from Tuesday, so that means Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday you'll be getting your PCR test. After you do that PCR test, which they will let you know, they'll tell you, okay, you can come down and do your swabbing. They'll provide you with a test tube with your name on it, and they will do your nasal and throat swab once again, and then that test should take about 24 to 48 hours to come back. I did mine today as we speak, and I am waiting for it to come back because I'm ready to go. You know, it's not that bad, it's not that crazy, but also I am like 5 days in. Hopefully I'll be released in the next day or two. But the process is, it needs work, but it's not like horrible in the government institution. I don't know how it is in the private ones. Kind of wait to get these things off of me, to be honest. If you do feel like you want to travel to Dominica and stay in a government quarantine facility, those are some things that I think that you should take note of. I'll see you guys next time on another video. Peace, y'all.